Good evening, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 in the 1% Club. You can see the heat coming off my head. It's about 9 degrees in the Midwest, and I wanted to do one. I'm sitting there warming the car up. I figured I'd do a second one today to kind of get information out to you guys. Thank you guys for the great comments, the likes, donations. I appreciate all of that stuff. Once again, it's great to hear from you guys. Two great cool things that I saw this morning as I was kind of focusing on things this whole day, actually. One was from Level Earth. Warrior beyond belief. 6 years, hard mode. Keep it going, my friend. Keep battling Warrior every day. It's great to hear from people with great success like that. And that's something we're all going to get to at some point. So 6 years and going strong. Keep it up, my friend. Keep it up. Secondly, some great comment from Scott Allen, and he talks about ballroom dancing. Now, I never said this. I got a little background on mine little by little, but my dad taught Fred Astaire dancing many years ago, and I learned ballroom dancing, the rumba and the waltz and all those kind of things. And you are right on target, my friend. I saw this with my dad, Warrior Dad. He went to the ballroom dancing all the time. He had, because a lot of the men were not old enough. The men who were old enough died, and so there was only him and 10 women at a table. And so he had all kinds of women all the time. But he also practiced some retention. He had to make sure that he wasn't kind of getting tempted all the time and falling into patterns. So good old story from my Warrior Dad back in the old days. But Scott, you're right on target, my friend. I'd recommend to the young guys and the old guys who are looking for a partner, learn ballroom dancing. I don't know if they have Fred Astaire dancing anymore out there, but I still got the old Fred Astaire book, and always helpful to go back. My wife and I always go out dancing at times. We still can. Before COVID, it was a lot more easier. Now it's kind of hard to find a lot of those type of places, but we living in the Midwest, there's still some places you can go. And it's nice to do that. But Scott, you're right on target. Women love that, especially because you're kind of leading, but you're kind of showing the woman off. And once again, the great attention that they get with ballroom dancing is phenomenal. So, Scott, you're right on track, my friend. Keep it up, Warrior. I love it. I love it to hear it. Also, I had my son and them learn how to do ballroom dancing as part of their education, and I think that's a great thing. And he both of my daughters and he learned a lot. And it's always good to come in handy, especially when you're in social gatherings that sometimes have ballroom dancing. I think that's phenomenal. All right, so a topic for this one. I'm going to go to Leo. It's a little bit similar to this in some ways, but not totally. But it's got some connection to it. Leo makes a comment, clothes don't make the man, the energy does. And I agree with that, Leo. Great comment. So I'm going to shout out to you and a few other people as I write this description on this one. But let's talk about this a little bit. So we are in a world, a matrix world of outside influences. All we are really is kind of looking at an illusion. I see this with things that I'm seeing on television, in the world of fashion, design. All of this, my friends, looks like it's very appealing to people. But it's really there to sell you something. It's selling you products. It's selling you sex and all kinds of other stuff. It's not real. And that's something we have to keep in mind. And so just like clothing presents an image. A great analogy Leo's making here. It's got very little to do with that in the long run. Yes, it looks appealing. It attracts the person to you. It attracts companies to you, business opportunities. But the idea, guys, is you cannot last unless you have that energy, that inside internalness that makes a warrior strong. And so it doesn't matter what you're wearing necessarily. It does matter what's inside of you. And that's that energy and that continued passion you have to succeed beyond belief. And so the clothes, even though we've had clothes since the days began, warriors had clothes. Back to the Attila the Hun had clothes. Everybody's got clothes that represent something about them. And that's okay. Symbolic types of things, there's nothing wrong with that. But the bottom line, my friends, is that you're a warrior because of your heart, because of what you have inside, and because of your extreme self-discipline. You are a man, a masculine man who is different than everybody else. And that energy level is strong. And as you guys can see, when you're doing these things, you are unbelievably strong. You have so much energy and power that our biggest challenge is to transmute that stuff so it doesn't backlash on us, and now we get frustrated and upset and we can't do too much of anything. But the key, my friends, is transmuting it to get to the point where it's serving you well, serving a purpose, and you're doing something with it. But this optical illusion we have that we call the world is not what it seems to be. And that's why those movies about the Matrix, there's a lot more truth in it than people want to believe. A lot of times, movies, portray actual life more than we think it does too. And the bottom line, really looking at things, is you cannot look at what people say to you, because what they're doing is trying to get you to convince you to buy something or believe in a belief or an action or something that they're going to get something out of. This is why when you look at attractive women, you'll also have to look at the fact that you know this woman is flesh and bones. And sometimes when people try to deal with retention and get away from the temptation, they'll actually look at a woman and start thinking about bones. So it's not attractive. The attraction levels, my friends, comes from the anticipation. Let's examine this for a second. When people have sexy clothes on, when they have these type of things, we are looking at what the imagination has. The imagination is what drives you to get excited. This was talked about even back in Playboy days, right? When you had Hugh Hefner, and these people talking about Playboy. He always stated that men are voyeurs. They look with the eyes, but they look with the imagination. That's why he never showed everything. He left a little bit for the imagination. That's what we see. So when you're attracted to a woman, women know this. They will not show you everything, because if they do, eventually you'll lose interest, because you'll see it, and then that you won't be interested anymore. This is why we have to really realize how our mind works. Women, on the other hand, are very much exhibitionists. They love attention. They love to dance around. They love all these type of things because they know men will pay attention to them. This is just a fact situation. People, you can deny it. You can kind of tell me you hate all this kind of stuff I'm saying. I'm just telling you my opinion after all these years as warriors. That you sit there, and men like to see things, visual. We have to control that. We have to say, okay, we see it, but it's not attractive. We have to look at a situation in the right way. And therefore, you won't be as attracted to this. So the clothes doesn't make the person. The energy inside does. And when you are attracted to somebody, remember, it's great to have a night of sex, but that's not going to serve any purpose for you in the long run. What it's going to do is kind of create a problem with your soul, because now only you're looking at the physical quality of somebody. When you see them in real life, not in just a bedroom at night, all of a sudden now you're seeing them with all their flaws, all their personalities, and a lot of people are no longer attracted. And this is why what ends up happening is you got what they call the one-night stands. You don't really want to have anything to do with the person. All you want to do is have intercourse with them, and that's it. Well, that's a dead-end street, because eventually when you keep doing it, now you're looking for more excitement, more anticipation, and those type of things build up. But the idea, guys, is that you're not really looking at a naked body. Yes, some bodies are attractive, but it's only because the person, the way they carry themselves. If they want to feel attractive, they start looking attractive. So a female who is just naked standing there is not necessarily going to be attractive to you. They perhaps might be, but the more chance than not is the sexy clothes, all these things that builds up that anticipation, and now all of a sudden you're attracted. And all of a sudden that person has you. Once again, that's an illusion. Those type of movies you see, all these things are illusions. They're not real. Because once you hit the reality of the situation, now you're dealing with a person just like you, who has all the faults and good traits that we all have, and that's not what makes attraction here. The fantasy is different. So what we got to do is remember this, warriors. Stay away from the fantasy type of thing. Think about the people in real life, and you'll realize that I can take a stop on this, and this is not that important for me to do. It's not important for me then to go ahead and just release, because I'm not getting anything long-term out of it. Of course, if you're looking for a partner, take Scott's advice. You go in the ballroom dancing, you find somebody. That's wonderful. You're gonna get married to the person one day and have children. That's wonderful. Procreation is perfect for that type of situation. There's nothing wrong with that part of it. But the idea that just a release, having one night stands, is going to kill you, my friends, in many more ways than just physical. Social, it's going to kill you in the soul, it's going to kill you in the mind, and eventually this is all you're going to be thinking about, and now you're trapped. This is an illusion to trap you, just like anything else is. It's not that real, and that's important to realize. So Leo, very perceptive, perspective, everything is great about what you said, Leo, because it is not the clothes, it's not the outfit that the person's wearing. Women or men. What's inside of you is the energy what attracts people. And you have to be careful that you're not caught up in a situation where that person is attracting you, but you're not getting anything really long-term out of it. Short-term pleasure is not the way to go. All right, again, Leo, great job, my friend. I like that quote. I like that comment. I wanted to comment on that. And once again, shout-outs to you and to everybody else we kind of talked about. We'll put some in the credits. And again, Scott, thank you for your comment. I love that ballroom dancing. We may actually do one on ballroom dancing at some point, but it's really exciting. I remember actually a time reading about Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers used to dance with Fred Astaire, and it was amazing that she admitted that she actually got very excited dancing with Fred Astaire, because that's what something you do in those type of situations when you're dancing and the attraction level is immense and you're holding a person close to, inside of yourself. So that is inside. That is great inside type of insight from Scott, and I appreciate that too. So, all right, my friends, until next time, it's 9 degrees out here. It's going to get nice and colder, and next day we'll do another video. So God bless you guys. Remember 2 things. 1, every day is a new day to a great warrior. And number 2, continue, my friends. You know it. Battle on until tomorrow. Battle on!